Hello, friends, and welcome to the 7th episode of the Squad Pod. My name is Maddox Jr., and I will be your host for this week. This week on the pod, we'll be discussing Ghost of Tsushima, F1 2020, and the hungriest battle royale, Cuisine Royale. But before we get to all of that, hot dropping into the battlefield with us this week, we have, for the first time in a few weeks, he has the voice of an angel and just got married yesterday. Tegato.
Really.
Congratulations on getting married, Tegato.
Man, I'm getting married so many times according to Mike, but we are not married yet, but I'm here. I'm welcome. We're back. Everybody doing? You guys doing good?
Back at it.
We're doing fine.
We're doing good. Our next guest took me on a magic carpet ride and showed me the world. Kevin Asax.
What? When did I do this? When did I do this? Look at that.
Yesterday, Kevin. Yesterday.
I did? Holy
Yeah.
moly. I don't remember yesterday at all, but that's crazy.
Man.
First time,
Must have
on
been
camera.
blacked out.
Let's see. Look at that.
The
Ooh.
face reveal. Look at him,
Look
dude.
at this face
this
reveal.
handsome
Look at this
devil.
man. Man, God, this man.
Look at him. He's so good at
Look
winking.
the wink. Look at the wink. Love it.
Are we keeping our glasses on or no? What are we doing?
Up
Better
to you,
take
Kevin.
mine
Up
off.
to you.
Wow.
And our next guest is on the top of the leaderboard in the war zone in the category of fall damage, and the man who manages our load. And if it's white, he don't bite. Washburn.
When Mike's away, the kids will play.
Let's go.
Fuck you, Mike.
Let's go, baby. And finally, rounding out the squad for this week, from the #1 ranked podcast on iTunes, the host of the Kinda Funny Games Xcast, live from crystal clear sapphire blue Lake Tahoe, Snowbike Mike. How you doing, Snowbike Mike?
Oh, hey guys, it's me, Snow White Mike. You guys
Oh,
are
he's here.
crazy. You guys are crazy
Oh, he's
today,
here.
dude. Whoa, I got this Xbox podcast, and it's not as good as Squad Pod.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so glad that you're here this week,
me,
Mike.
Mike.
What did Mike-
I'm glad you had time to make for us lowly peons.
Yeah, thank
It was
you.
very kind of you.
I gotta go now. Bye.
Okay, till next time.
Hate that guy, dude.
All right. Yeah, I know. Now, if
We're just
everyone in
we're
the
just
audience
peasants.
could be very kind and go and rank us, we're trying to beat out the kind of funny XCast. I
We're
think
close. We're close.
I think we can do it. We currently have like a 4.5 rating because someone decided that we're terrible and rated us a
Give
1
us a
star. So
1,
if you could
dude.
just,
What the
so if you could go in there and help us out a little bit in the iTunes charts, that would be great.
I want it to be
Um,
perfect. It's not gonna happen.
Probably
anymore.
Flurple.
We're only our first episode's only 499 or 49,499 views away from the XCast. So I think we're gonna catch up.
We're close. We're
We're
like
close.
We're a
We'll get
percentage
there.
of them. So
All right, now we're gonna get into what we have been playing this week. Tegato, you've been playing a little bit of Crosscode and Messenger. Tell us about it.
Mhm. Yeah, so Games Pass, that's the best deal in business, my friend. And we go in there, and there's the Messenger and Crosscode that dropped in this past week. And I hopped in to Messenger. That's the first one. The Messenger. I love it. I love it a lot. Ninjas and demons, and you're fighting against demons. Like, come on. What can you say? It's a side scroller, and it's really awesome. I don't know how else to explain it, but just going in, the music's really good. That 8-bit type of music in the background just really gives me the vibes of back in the day, hopping on the old SNES and playing, or on Sega or any of those old timey games. So it brought me back. Big fan of it. That's a Devolver Digital game, I think. It's been out for a while. I
is
believe,
it
but
Devolver? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's Devolver.
Look it up.
It doesn't take itself seriously either. There's some jokes in the dialogue too, which is pretty fun. I enjoy that, especially in those games where you're reading the novels of text that pop up instead of there being voice. I love the little jokes every now and then, the humor.
Yeah, they got to keep you interested for sure.
Yeah. So I've been playing that, so that's been fun. And Crosscode is the other one, and that's a top-down. I think it's is that they call it twin stick shooter. I think, or it's not twin stick, but you control your right analog stick. You're controlling how far that is. So that means that's that twin stick shooter. Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's got elements of a twin stick shooter from what I've seen.
Yeah. So I've been playing that. I'm not very far into it, but it's super cool. The premise of the story basically is that you are an avatar, which is you're basically playing inside of an MMO, a giant MMO. So, but there are people who are avatars who are the MMO players who are in the game, and then there's people who are real people that are not in the game. So there's like going back and forth with that. So it's kind of a cool thing. I would go check it out. It's top down look. It kind of has a art style of Stardew Valley. That type of an art style, but you move a lot faster than you do in Stardew Valley, which is great. So I've been enjoying that a lot as well. I got to sink my teeth more into it, but first impression is by just the style and the music and everything. Big fan of it. I would go check it out if you guys got some hours that were not in the war zone or in other battle royales. And finally, like I mentioned multiple weeks ago, I am playing NBA 2K and I am deep. I am deep, and I have not spent any money.
Down the dark hole.
No money.
I haven't spent any money. I have not spent any money.
Good for you, man.
Which I am feeling really good that I have the self-control, but I am deep into it with my team and the cards and the packs, all that kind of stuff. If you want to look online, they give you the locker codes for different players and stuff. So just go check that out. And then
how tempted are you to spend money and get some of those packs?
I am pretty tempted, especially when there's like a Michael Jordan greatest of all time card that pops up and it's like, oh, it's only in this pack and it's a limited time thing. And I'm like, oh, I want to spend money and try to get it. Like, regardless, man, I haven't, which is good, but I love it. I've been having a lot of fun. Just as a guy who loves 2K in general, it's a good way for me to get back in the game and play. So that's what I've been playing. I would recommend checking out Crosscode. And if you haven't checked out Messenger, go hop on that in the Games Pass, and you can do that.
I have it downloaded on my PC. I need to get to it still. And then next, Washburn, you've been playing the latest hit in PlayStation gaming, Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh man, it's a good game. You know what I mean? It's so good. So, like, for y'all have heard me say this story 1,000 times, but I could not finish Last of Us. Right? It was just too much for me. And Ghost of Tsushima is like the opposite of that. This is the game that I can sink 3, 4. Oh, Kevin, that's cool.
Does Kevin
5 hours at a
samurai
time.
sword?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh my God, look at this guy.
Is that signed by Randy Jackson?
Oh man, it better be. But Ghost of Tsushima, man, it's like I'm about 8 or 9 hours in at this point, and I'm loving it. I haven't done much in the way of the main story. So there are 3 islands. I'm still on the first one, and sort of just running around, taking in the world, doing any little question mark that comes up on the map. That's there. So there's a very laid out quest structure in the game. You've got your main quests. You've got these like errands they're sort of just side quests, and then you have these like social quests that you can do where you interact with like specific characters. So I've been doing those social quests and getting to know these 2 characters, Sensei Ishikawa, played by Francois Chow, which is dope. The dude was in Lost, if you remember. He played the doctor in Lost. He's also on one of my favorite shows, The Expanse. So to hear him in the game, Jules Pierre Mao in The Expanse, so to hear him in the game is really cool. Lauren Tom as Lady Masako is awesome. For Jin, the main character, like I don't know much about him yet. I know that he's raised by his uncle and he's a samurai, and that's pretty much all I got. But from what I've seen, I know I'm probably going to grow to love this character, and for me, I'm just in love with the world. Like I can't I've lost count already of the amount of times I've just stopped and triggered the photo mode just to like take pictures and capture the beauty of this ridiculous world that Sucker Punch has created. And it's awesome, man. I'm really, really digging it. But yeah, 8 or 9 hours in, don't have too much to say on the main story, but this is one I'll sink a lot of time into, at least 40 or 50 hours. I can see that easy.
Awesome.
It's like the best HDR looking game, right?
Yeah, the HDR is awesome.
Looks better than Last of Us, I'm guessing.
Again, like I didn't play all the way through Last of Us, so like I don't want to make that comparison. Where Last of Us like is very dark. It's a lot of dark, right?
Yeah.
In Ghost of Tsushima, it is very bright. Like what's really cool, what I like
that makes the HDR pop a little bit more.
Yeah, what I've been doing a whole lot is the game gives you this flute where you can play it and change the weather.
I love me a good flute.
Right. And so during the daytime, if it's not just sunny, I'll go ahead and just play flute, which is just swipe left on the D-pad, which is awesome because Sucker Punch has like made the D-pad useful in this game. It's not just touch it and get a map. If you swipe up, it calls the wind. If you swipe right, Jin will like flick the blood off his sword and sheath it, and it's super cool. If you swipe left, he plays his flute, and if you swipe down, he like does a little bow. But the flute will change the weather. So like during the day, I'll play the flute and get it, nice and sunny, and get those colors, that bright green, that bright yellow on that first island, really, really standing out. And yeah, the HDR does pop. I mean, it's very bright and very dark, and the shadows and the way that the lights not piercing through these thick forests, and the visuals of the game are it's stunning. So that's pretty much all I have on that so far. I'm sure I'll have more on it in the weeks to come because this one's going to take me at least 2 or 3 weeks to really get through.
Awesome.
How's the gameplay?
Choose number 3, my lord.
The gameplay is good.
Yeah.
At first, I was frustrated with the fact that there wasn't a lock on, but now that I've got my feet under me, and it did take me about 4 or 5 hours to feel like I had my feet under me, I'm confident going into battles now, man. And what's really, really cool, and I don't think it will ever be not cool, is when you run up to a group of guys, you can press up on the D-pad and do a standoff, and Jin will be like, send your best to face me, or you know what I mean? And it's super epic. And you'll get into this little duel where you hold triangle, and the moment that the guy takes a swing at you, you let go of triangle, and Jin just takes him down in one stroke. And you see all of his like friends that are around you watching. They like take a step back, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he just like cut down our best guy in one stroke." And then you get into it with like 4 or 5 guys. There's different stances that give you certain bonuses against weapons. I just unlocked the third stance. So like there's stone stance, which is good against just regular swordsmen. There's water stance, which is good against shields. There's wind stance, which is the one I just unlocked, which gives him a bonus against guys with spears. And then the last one I haven't even unlocked, it's called moon stance, and apparently it helps you with like brutes, which are bigger guys that take a little bit more, effort to kill. And so switching between those stances based on like who you're fighting, that's a cool mechanic. There's not much to the stances other than like the triangle button is a specific attack that's good against a specific type of weapon. Outside of that, like the stance bonuses aren't really there. It's just dependent. It's like a rock, paper, scissors game. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. But I'm really enjoying it. I like the upgrades. I like the skill trees. And just for me, the standout element of this game is the world, just the world itself. It's ridiculous. Like the reason you see so many people on Twitter blowing up this photo mode is because it's like you have to, you know what I mean? It's like you can't not appreciate how gorgeous this game is. It's unbelievable. And it's going to take me even longer to get through because there's so many moments where I'm just like, holy shit, like I have to stop and like take a picture of this because it's just unlike anything I've ever seen. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it.
Awesome. Now, Kevin, I've heard that you've been catching up with all the latest and greatest, such as
Oh, the ladies.
the second Spider-Man DLC
The second
and
Spider-Man.
Aladdin
Yes.
from the NES.
Oh, Aladdin, that too. Where's Aladdin? Where are you at?
Did you play that on Switch when it's like on the Switch?
No, he has it on NES.
And yes. Ooh.
But you actually oh,
Yeah, he's playing the hard version.
Hard version. Is it
What?
hard? Who said it was
Was that-
hard?
I thought that like the remaster thing that they did with Aladdin and Lion King, they may have made a rewind feature.
yeah, they did.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and I guess I can rewind with this one like I did with Zelda too.
And you can't forget how much it was chugging for you randomly.
Yeah, I don't know why it was chugging, but yeah, I was playing that, finished that in an hour and a half, Aladdin, and then last night
Speed run, world record.
world record, dude. I saw the world record.
It was incredible.
It was 16 minutes, so I don't think I'll ever
Wow.
catch up to that.
Mm,
But yeah, I also finished. I was playing The Last of Us while I was waiting for Ghost of Tsushima to download, and I got like back into Last of Us. So I was playing a little bit of that, and then I decided to finish DLC number 2 for Spider-Man, and
Is that
it was alright.
is that second one Hammerhead or is that Black Cat?
Yeah,
Hammerhead.
Hammerhead. Yeah, Black Hat's the first one.
I hated that one.
Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't really that interesting. Towards the end, I guess. Oh, and I'm gonna spoil it. He's alive. Whoa.
Whoa,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Spoilers,
dude?
bruh.
Who would have thought? So still got number 3 to go to, and I'll chip at that little by little when I get to it. But yeah,
Three is Silver Sable, I think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's when Silver Sable comes back.
so we'll see what happens with that. See if there's any more. I just want to see more of Miles because I want to get
Mhm.
ready for the new one. Because I know we got hints of it in the first DLC where he's like calling you and stuff. So
And that happens throughout all the DLC.
yeah,
Like from what I remember,
Mhm.
you'll be swinging around and Miles will call you and just be like, "Hey Peter, what's the point of like?" I remember specifically, he'll be like, "What's the point of like doing this trigonometry or understanding this problem with like a pendulum and angles?" And Peter's
Mhm.
like, "Well, if you're the pendulum, imagine how far you have to flip your web out and swing from this building without splatting against the side of
Yeah.
another one." You know what I mean? And it's cool to have those sort of like beginning conversations between Peter and Miles and seeing
Yeah.
that relationship slowly start to build.
So yeah, you get like your little hints from that, and I want to get like
Mhm.
I'm guessing it's gonna lead up to his game. So we'll see what happens. I'm like, they're all right. I just hate goddamn screwball challenges. They're so dumb. I hate those so
Yeah,
much.
the
Yeah.
screwballs were horrible.
They're so pointless. They're so frustrating.
For me, a lot of those DLCs just, and I know other people have said this before, it feels like a lot of ideas that got cut from the main game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see
It
that.
feels like here's a bunch of stuff that we didn't have room for in the main game and didn't really fit into our overall narrative. So let's throw them in this DLC thing, and not the least of which is those screwball challenges
Mhm.
where they're just absurd. And like the gadgets one where she restricts you to like 2 gadgets and
Yeah,
the drone chasing and the
Yeah.
bomb throwing and all
Mhm.
that stuff.
I don't like
I
it.
didn't enjoy that either.
and I had to do it just to get the platinum or the just 100% of the trophies for that. So
Mhm.
it was just a pain. But then yeah, The Last of Us, I'm just heading towards the hospital right now, so we'll see what happens over there. No more jump scares, please.
Just a little scary.
A little scary.
And this week I've been playing a lot of F1 2020. Got to give it to the developers of F1. They come back every year with a nice upgrade and update, and it does a lot more than a lot of sports games, especially like Madden year to year or FIFA year to year. They definitely improve it a lot. And like between 2018 and 19, there was a huge graphical leap, and it looked incredible at nighttime. This time they have added a My Team mode where you can add an 11th team to the grid, and you can choose your engine supplier and manage who your teammate is, and then you're also racing, and you can customize your car, customize your outfit and all that, and it's a lot of fun. I've played 2 races so far, Australia and Baku, I think, and I started on Vietnam, which is a new track for bye Takeado.
Bye, Takeado.
R.I.P. Which is a new track, and it would have been an interesting race to be sure. But that one got canceled this year due to COVID. They're back racing, but not in Vietnam. So it'll be interesting to see that track in real life next year and how it compares. But it's definitely a tricky one. And that's about all I have about F1 2020. It's a good time. The controls are tight. You can make tons of adjustments to difficulty. They have added. Last year they had like a ton of difficulty adjustments, but this year they have also added like a more just like flip it to casual kind of
nice
thing. So yeah.
Do you shred corners, bro? Like, are those cars in that game just absolutely shredding corners?
Yeah.
Do you
yeah,
feel
for
like
sure.
you're going fast all the time?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I want.
So are you gonna buy
Yeah.
a wheel now?
I probably will after I move. Maybe I'll think about it.
Just get the whole setup, get the pedals and everything.
Get the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Get the like a frame so you feel like you're in it.
And I'll like have
monitors.
a separate whole setup over here. Yeah.
Be perfect.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Who develops that game, Maddock? Who's the developer of that? Oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
so they know how to do drive.
They make Grid and Dirt, and there's another racing game I think.
Made that one we played a couple of weeks ago. Onrush, yeah. So
Nice.
like they know how to make you feel like you're going fast, which is like
definitely.
When you play a racing game, that's what you want, right? Like that's what I look for in a racing game. I want to feel like I'm just flying. And not every racing game can pull that off, but Codemasters has done a good job with that over the years, since the original Grid. So yeah, I imagine that game's a lot of fun.
I'm interested to see what they have going for them with Dirt 5 when it comes out with the new consoles. I think it will look really good, and hopefully they make some tweaks to like the progression through the game. Dirt 4 kind of like didn't really do it for me in terms of that, but if they make it a little bit more fun, they have a story mode. I think Troy Baker and Nolan North are playing voices in it, so it looks like they're trying to get into it. So that should be good.
Cool.
All right, our battle royale for the week is Cuisine Royale. My note underneath it says, "God, this game is worse than I remember." Cuisine Royale is a brutal multiplayer last man standing shooter with realistic weaponry, mystic traps, and demonic rituals. And hey, it's free. And that's about the only good thing you can say about it. I wrote that you get what you pay for. It's a really goofy style of a game. When you start, everyone's in their underwear. You don't spawn into the map, you spawn into the map, you don't drop into the map, which is very interesting.
There's no
definitely a choice.
There's no pre-game lobby, where you're like waiting around.
Yeah.
It just right away puts you in the game.
It just puts you in. Yeah, it throws me off too, and you're just like, oh, I'm playing now, and you kind of have to go and loot whatever spot you spawned in, which is kind of dicey because the loot is definitely not distributed evenly across the map, I would say. And then you can pick up pots and pans and all sorts of things to cover your body as armor. They have World War II guns at one point. They also had you can pick up an M16 or a SCAR as well. So I don't know where I haven't seen those recently though.
Washburn picked up an M4. I don't remember when.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was surprised. I was like, wow, there's M4s? I thought it was just all World War II guns.
Yeah, no, and one of the updates they made it so that there was also M4s and stuff. The other interesting thing that we can get into a little bit more as well is the perks that you can kind of get. And you'll be running around with a IV bag, and then you'll be running around with a pan, the ultimate pan of bullet deflection or whatever it's called, or the bunny slippers. Bunny slippers make you jump real high. It's pretty cool. Those things make this game goofy and fun. But we can get into what everyone thought. Kevin, you want to start off here?
Like what did I think of the game overall?
Kevin,
Like what did I think of the game overall? Or
yeah. Overall,
it's goofy. I know the gameplay feels kind of like PUBG, but like the shooting feels really like off. There's something wrong with that shooting, but
yeah,
I thought
it's better on PC, I think, than Xbox in terms of the feel of the shooting.
I thought it was all right in my opinion. Like I don't think it was the worst game. I think we might see worse games later on.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know it might be low tier for you guys. But yeah, I liked it. I like the special like items like the IV bag and the Halo thing. I think helps you like take less damage outside the circle. And what else? You have the bunny slippers like you said, and the super fast boots. All that's
the
fun.
super fast boots are great.
Yeah, they're fun. And the oxygen tank that helps you out. So yeah, I like some of the ability. Oh, you also can like transform to like if you choose the right character, like you can turn beast mode and you can go crazy and just start like hacking at people, you know. And
I don't think I've ever seen that, but interesting.
You haven't seen that, really?
No.
Yeah. So each character gets like an ultimate, and we do need to like dive into this a little bit. So let's back up a second and say that characters are very hard to unlock in this game.
Mm-hmm.
You can either buy them, you can unlock them through playing, and there are loot boxes involved and other things like that. But each character has a different ultimate ability. The one that we play with, because it's the only one that's free and the only one that you can unlock, is this guy with this ultimate ability that allows him to transform into like a not literally transform, but he goes berserk, right? He goes berserker, and he can run around and hit people, jump super high, run super fast. How you fill up that gauge, I don't know.
So I know how you fill up the gauge. There's ways to do it. So there's pretty much two ways to do it. So it's either eat food, because technically you need 40 souls to like fill up the gauge, and eat food is like 5 souls to fill up your gauge. And then I don't know how much you get for killing someone. That's gotta at least be like 15 or something, because it goes up pretty high when you kill someone.
I thought it was based upon how many souls the other person has that you collect.
I think that might be true, Takeout, because there are games that I've played where I will kill someone and get nothing. Like I'll kill somebody and that gauge doesn't move at all. So yeah, maybe that's right, Takeout, is if the person has a lot of souls, that gauge will fill up more.
Yeah, I think so. The thing about the characters, like it adds the super ability kind of. I think one of them is like a gunslinger type of one, or like sharpshooter or something.
That's the chick.
Yeah. And then I think it adds to variety, but like you said, the fact that it's so hard to unlock different characters, you have to put in a lot of effort into the game in order to like get the other abilities than the beast mode. I think it's fun, and it adds to the quirkiness of the game, which is like, when I first played it, I thought it's like, oh, this is PUBG, and then I'm like, oh no, they're making fun of PUBG. It's it's like they're making fun of that. So like, I like saw all these things like the bunny slippers, the fast travel. Is it like kind of like I don't know what they call them, the wing boots,
pads.
Wing knee pads or whatever, all those different things to make you run fast, and like it's just adding to the absurdity, which I think is what charm of this game is that it's absurd, but gameplay is always king in these things. So if the gameplay isn't fun, like the only thing fun about it is the quirks, but if like ultimately if the shooting isn't right, like then these like battle royales are never going to be as good as they need to be. Like I don't think the shooting in that game feels as good as it does in PUBG, but it's definitely notches below these other ones in terms of how the shooting feels. So I think for myself, I love all the stuff that's around it and like the way it looks and how stupid it is that you're putting pots and pans on your head and like all this other stuff. And like I love that because I love just the comedy of it. But in regards to like gameplay, it's got nothing on Call of Duty. Like it's got nothing on
come on.
PUBG. Like any of the gunplay is
yeah.
even close. Yeah, they're like not even close. So
It doesn't even have anything on like Realm in terms of
Yeah.
gunplay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna piggyback off Tegato, and Tegato says you have to put effort into this game to unlock specific abilities, characters, things of that nature. This is not a game that's worth putting effort into.
Why not?
And the reason that like we're talking in very broad strokes here. And I think that's reflective of how much of a mess this game is. You know what I mean? There you go into a menu, you're hit with the main menu is just a mess visually. Visually it's a mess. The main menu is. It's hard to navigate. We don't know what these systems mean. We don't know how you get cash to unlock these certain things other than leveling up. And I kind of just want to go down this list here in terms of gameplay and the game overall. So the equipment, you pick up like armor that's food specific, right? For lack of a better term. You can put a colander on your head and it's a helmet. You put a pan on your butt. People can't shoot you in the butt. Whatever. I get what they're going for. It's satirical. We use the word charming. I think it's silly. When the game is this hard for me to play, I all of that stuff sort of goes out the window. You know, I don't care what you're going for. There's driving. There are cars. There are vehicles in this game.
That's right.
They're hard. They are hard as hell to drive. So like, good luck driving through a bunch of trees because that's not going to work for you. If you drive into water, you're done. Right? We did that the other day. I said I'm going to river this car, and I figured it.
I mean, what did we expect? I mean, did we expect the car to go into the water?
But what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Are we going something for? Are we going for something that's realistic, or are we going for something that's completely silly? Because this game goes both. This game goes both ways, and you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? I think if they had dived into the silly aspect of it and made it dived all the way in, made it completely absurd, I might feel differently about this game. But there are aspects of it that try to be PUBG, that try to be somewhat grounded, and it just, the tones don't work together. Gun specific ammo.
Okay. Yeah, that one's terrible.
That is horrible. We were all really high on Hyperscape a couple weeks ago, and one of the reasons I was high on it is because there is one ammo. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when I go into a battle royale, that is not a system that I want to spend a lot of time figuring out. Call of Duty makes it easy. Apex makes it easy. Fortnite makes it easy. There's 3 or 4 ammo types that you can pick up. They say exactly what they are, and you're off to the races. In this game, gun-specific ammo, not class-specific ammo, not assault rifle ammo, M4 ammo, STG ammo, right? Mm-hmm. That's a huge problem. It just slows you down to a point of you feel like you're in molasses. You know what I mean? You feel like you just can't do anything because you're so hindered by, picking up one clip of M40 ammo and not having anything else.
Yeah, you have to basically go gun by gun. So when you find a gun, then switch out, and you find another gun, switch out, and find another gun, switch out. Yep. It's never like, oh, I'm comfortable with the M40, so I'm gonna stick with that. It's, no, I'm gonna run out of ammo on this, so now I have to find another gun. Which the looting in this game, it's not very even. I think there was times where you fall into a town and you are at least 4 or 5 houses before you find a gun.
That's exactly where I was going to go next, Tegato, is there is no loot. Like, there is barely any loot to be found. You might stumble upon a fridge, somewhere random out in the open, but you can go in these, the other day we were playing, I think me, you, Kevin, and Mike, and we were in like this mansion, this estate, and I had run through the whole thing and barely found anything. That's unacceptable, right? Like in a game like Fortnite, in a game like Call of Duty, in a game like Apex, even Hyperspace, you run through a big building, you're finding some stuff, and whether or not you use it, that's up in the air, but it's there for you. In this game, it's not even there. Like you don't even have the option of picking something up because there is nothing to pick up. So there's just no loot, and that's a huge problem. And that was a big problem that we had with DayZ when we tried it. It was just like this big empty map with nothing on it, and and that's the same thing here.
Yeah, as for that fact, it seems to have somehow changed in all their patch updates. The first time I played on Xbox. It was a year and a half ago. It was like towards the beginning. The aiming down sights was absolutely terrible at that point. It has since improved somewhat. I mean, it's still bad, but like it was very chuggy, and it felt like you're kind of stuttering across the screen when you're aiming. But at that time, when I played originally, there was loot. There was double the amount of loot, easy. Like I was always finding at least like one random item that like makes me run faster, or bunny slippers or whatever, and then I would find like at least 2 guns and a couple of armor plates and stuff. But for some reason, this most recent time that we were playing on PC, and I've played on PC like about a half a year ago as well before I deleted it, and I'll probably delete it again. But it still didn't feel like there was that little loot as it does this time. And every time I killed someone when I was playing originally, there'd be tons of stuff off that person, and I just didn't feel like that was the case this go around. And I had like a decent amount of fun with it the first time I played through, because we'd find like the uber pan of deflection, and you just like 2 of us had uber pans of deflection. We were going around trying to beat people down with it, and it deflects tons of bullets as well. It's hilarious, and it makes like lightsaber noises. It's funny, and you have a good time like doing stuff like that. But in the most recent playthrough that I've had of this, there was just nothing to be found that would make this game entertaining. It just made it difficult and annoying.
Do we think that has to do with the fact that there are 30 or 40 players in any given match, and they're trying to make it so that the game doesn't just fly? Do you know?
Maybe.
Does that?
I don't know.
Because that's the only explanation that I can find is you get into a match, there's 30, 40 players, and we might touch on this again, but the map has already shrunk. You're already in like phase 2 or 3 of the circle, because they can't use the whole map because there's not enough players. And so maybe what they've done is reduce the amount of loot to ensure that the game doesn't just fly by, to ensure that people aren't just absolutely kitted within 2 or 3 minutes and out there running the server. I mean, personally, I can't find another explanation, because I would rather the game go fast. I would rather the game commit to this silly nature that it presents you, and get in, get out. You know what I mean? I think I'd be a little bit less down on it if there was loot to find.
Yeah, I agree. Because like I actually thought we were gonna have like a decent amount of fun with this week, and we did not. We got
a win, and nothing happened. You know what I mean? And
you guys say that, but you guys were dead. All right, I got the win for you guys, and I had fun when I was doing it, because I went beast mode, and that was really fun. So,
but it was
it's like every game when you die and your friends get a win. I'm like, you guys got to win. Woo, we got to win. But I mean, I was dead for it, so.
I don't feel that way when, in Warzone, because there have been times when I die and I'll watch, Kevin, you and Mike and whoever carry me to a victory, and I still get hyped because like that game is so fast paced. You know what I mean? In this, it's just like, oh, cool. Like I didn't feel that way at all. And maybe it is because I died. You know what I mean? Maybe it is because Kevin carried me to that win, and I wasn't the one getting the kill shot. But like the first game I played, Kevin, like I was destroying fools. You remember? Like
yeah.
I was fragging, man. I was out there getting 8-9 kills and just running through squads on my own. And still, like I came out of that and I didn't feel like I had accomplished anything worthwhile. You know what I mean? And they are video games. You're never really accomplishing anything worthwhile. But like I didn't come out of that match where I was absolutely fragging, feeling like I had a lot of fun. And I just think that's a testament to how tough this game was to play for me. And we did play a decent amount this week.
Yeah, I've played a
I
decent
think-
amount over time. This week I only played like probably an hour or two.
I think when it came out on Xbox and we were playing it, what was that, like a year ago or so? Like, enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it a lot more then than I did now. Like, I hopped in. I didn't play with you guys, but I like hopped in on my own and was like playing and was like, this. I don't know what it is about this, but I just can't. Like, I am like looking at all the different battle royales that we've been like playing, and like I was just like, can I just stop and go play Warzone? Like, can I, like, and stuff like that. Like, it's like, if I'm going to have an hour and a half or 2 hours to play a battle royale, like, do I want it to be Cuisine Royale? No. I mean, if anything that this game has going for it, it's that it is so weird and off the wall. That is the only thing that I could see that's like redeeming about it. But if they fix the gunplay, like if they come in and fix it and add those loot things, I feel like it could be something, as long as the gunplay is good and we get like enough loot to like ratchet this thing up to 11 of how like crazy it could get. Anything like to get souls quicker, so you do more supers, like in different ways like that, like make that what they focus on. I think that it could be something, but right where it's at right now, where I played this week, I was like, no.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tegato, for me, like there are games out there, are battle royales specifically out there that are pretty good, but the fact that Warzone is more than pretty good sort of takes their shine. Do you know what I mean? And I would put Realm Royale in that category. Realm Royale is pretty good, but Warzone exists. You know what I mean? This is not one of those games. For me, this is just a bad game.
Yeah.
Like that's just where I stand on it. Like, this isn't a game that's had its shine taken by games that are better. This is a game that had no shine to begin with. That's just that's where I'm at with it.
I feel like so far we've played 5 games. This is the 6th, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would go back to most of the other games, and I just don't think I'll come back to this at this point.
Right.
Unless something drastic changes.
Also, just to let you guys know, this game was an April Fool's joke, and then that people really were digging it, so they made the game. So you can blame the people who dug the April Fool's joke.
That's fair.
Blame the internet.
Yeah.
The internet.
Yeah.
And I feel like, just again, we've been talking very broadly about this. Like we haven't done our usual deep dive into specific elements of this game because this game is such a mess. I think our conversation and being so broad like we have here is reflective on the state and quality of this game. And if you guys have anything that you want to like really dive into and touch on, well, I'd be down for that. But personally, me, I just like, when I think of this game, my brain goes in 100 different places because that's how the game is.
Yeah. Yeah, what Mike put in our chat, and I'll read it off to you guys because I think it kind of sums it up, and it sums up what my opinion is. Mike was like,
"Can you do his voice, please?"
Okay, I'll try my best.
Thanks.
I think that this game sucks. Oh, sorry, that was too much. I don't know if I can do it. movement and shooting feel way. I can't do a sound like Mike. I'm sorry. Kevin, you want to try it? You want to try it? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, look, this movie. I think this game
Oh, there you go.
sucks. Oh, the movement shooting feels slay. Who lose? Oh, look at me. I'm Mike whooping the
Oh
moon.
my god.
You can do it. Just read it off.
Mike just says weapons and loot is way too limited, which is like what Washburn you were mentioning. There isn't enough on the map. Hiding the characters behind a paywall sucks, and that's in all caps.
It's not behind a paywall.
They're not necessarily behind. They're not, but like you can buy them.
Yeah, you can.
But you can also earn them.
Yeah.
And like to go back to the point of conversation earlier, Takeado, where you said like you have to put an effort to do that. Why? Like this isn't a game I want to put any effort into. Period.
I just want to point out that some of the character models are probably not acceptable in today's society. Probably.
A lot of this game is problematic.
What's wrong with them?
It's like there's some Native American, but I think they're also white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a couple of the character models are definitely like racist, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I couldn't find any of the pictures because I wanted to see what their abilities were too, but I couldn't find anything. Yeah, I know there's an Aztec person too. There's also like a Thor guy, Viking person.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
What else did he say?
I think they're not behind a paywall. You guys are right, but like you don't want to put in the effort. Like if you were gonna get the characters, you're gonna pay for it, and like because you don't want to put an effort in the game. Mike says vehicles are worthless and drive like crap. We talked a little bit about that, Washburn, about how vehicles don't drive properly, but it's not good. I mean, I would much rather drive a vehicle around in PUBG. That's saying something. Like
it's worlds.
Those are great.
PUBG vehicles are fun to drive. They feel good to drive. In this game, they feel like you're on a floating block of soap, just trying to get across.
I wouldn't say PUBG's vehicles are good. They're all right.
For me, I would not say that their PUBG vehicles are great, but it's definitely fun because
it's also hilarious.
And it's hilarious. Like Mike spent most of 2 years ago literally just riding a motorcycle and sending it as hard and far as he could with the vehicle. So like I think that just shows the difference between these two games. Like we don't want to drive, like vehicles are available, but I don't think I want to drive them. I want to get the knee pads in Cuisine Royale and run it as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Like
you can't even shoot out of the vehicle. Like if you're not driving and your teammate's driving, you can't even like lean out the window and shoot, which is that's a travesty.
Yeah, that's a huge part of battle royales. Period. These days is being able to shoot out of the vehicle. Like can't bring that, then it's not up to snuff. The vehicles shouldn't be in the game.
Yeah.
Mike says the weird personal attachments like the cigar, Halo, and the Ivy bag are way too weird to him. I thought they were good.
Yeah, I liked them
I thought
too.
it's like I like it, but I do see where he's like weird, meaning like what's the tone of the game trying to be and stuff like that. Which I think Washburn you touched to a little bit of like they try to go super serious in different ways. Like specifically like in the guns, like how nuanced the gun system is in the ammo system.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna have me running around with a Halo floating above my head, if you're gonna have a jetpack in the game, I don't want to be running around with a MP40. Give me a laser gun. Give me a sunbreaker from hyperspace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like give me something completely ridiculous and lean in. Don't have it both ways. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. And then his last point on the bad side is why is it called Cuisine Royale when there is literally no cooking? Which is true. I mean,
I'm cooking up some kills in that game. All right, I don't know about you guys.
Oh dang! You know
saying?
Let him eat. Gotta let him eat, bro.
Let him eat. Exactly. Mike does say some good things about it. He thinks the map is cool and that the buildings have basements and attics to them. I do agree. I think that the building structure like is really cool in this. Like it's at the Aztec pyramid side of the map. I thought is really cool. The fact that it's like it's a huge pyramid and there's loot. Usually, at least from when I was playing, there was loot, a lot of loot in there, which I thought was cool. There's different elevation changes with that, so I thought the map itself was good, but I think just everything else that's in the map itself just kind of not quite there.
I've said it, and I haven't said it here, but I have said it while we were playing. This game doesn't deserve these graphics. You know what I mean? Like visually, the game is pretty good. When you're running around the map, the way the light bounces off the ground and the way the dirt looks and the way, just the overall visual presentation of the map itself it's pretty good. But everything else is another story.
I never thought the graphics looked that great. They looked all right. I think the lighting is the only thing that makes it look good.
Yeah,
because it looks below looks like a lesser version of PUBG, and like even PUBG didn't look that great. So
I don't know.
Elysium is the best looking of those three that we just listed.
I thought this was more on that same page as Ring of Elysium. I thought PUBG graphics were way worse than this. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I got to hop into. I haven't played PUBG in a few weeks, and I need to hop in and take a look in comparison to Cuisine. But I think they're going for the same type of look in both those games. And
this game did come out in 2018, so
that's true. Everybody was doing PUBG at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the map looked cool. And then the last thing Mike said that he liked the character supers and the different abilities of the characters, but the fact that they were so hard to get the other characters like made that lesser for him. So
yeah, I just wanted to try out those other characters because I know the Thor guy, he like goes up in the air and smashes down, which it looked pretty cool when I saw like a preview or no, like a gameplay of it on YouTube. And these other guys, I don't know what they do, but I know the chick that slowed down time. I don't know. Some of these abilities are weird. I just really wanted to see how they looked in game, and if they were fun to play with.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like I mean this is my third time saying it, but it's just our conversation on this week is so broad and out of focus, and again for me that's just a reflection of the game. Like it's so tough to talk about one thing in this game because the game is just a mishmash, and I feel like we have touched on everything, but there's nothing to dive into. You know what I mean? There's nothing to really chew on with this game because what we have to say about each and every element is roughly the same thing, and that is it's not great.
Well, I think that will conclude our Cuisine Royale talk, and that will bring us to where do we think this ranks among battle royales?
It's last.
It's last.
There's no question.
Don't think it'll be last for too long. I know there's other games worse than this one.
Are you trying to say we're gonna try and play some worse games than this, Kevin?
No. Soon, but I mean not next week, but
soon.
Okay.
So I vote last. Tegato, you vote last. Is everybody here vote last?
I voted above.
I'm gonna vote.
I voted above Adam Royale.
Oh my God, Kevin!
Can you go over the list then?
Oh my God.
Go over the list.
Yep.
Yeah.
So our rankings, as it stands, is in 6th place. We will add this nightmare of a game.
Mike also
Cuisine
voted
Royale.
In
5th place, Ring of Elysium. In 4th place, Super Animal Royale. In 3rd place, PUBG. In 2nd place, Realm Royale. And in 1st place, The Legends of the Apex.
Mm-hmm.
I like that list. I like that list a lot. Perfect. Yeah.
We nailed it.
Something up.
Super Animal Royale. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to go and do a revisited when this is all said and done.
Yeah.
For Washburn's sake.
No doubt.
What are we doing next week?
Next week, we will be hopping into Fortnite
Oh, so we are.
and
Oh.
reminding us
Yeah, we're gonna do it, bro.
all of the building to the sky.
I'm excited.
and all that. Yeah, I mean,
I
I
mean,
like
I-
Fortnite. I have a good time with it.
I enjoy Fortnite too. I mean, the building is probably the worst part in my opinion, but we'll see this week.
I'm scared.
All right.
I'm scared.
You're scared?
You should.
Do you think we'll get a win?
There's no more lightsabers, and that's the only reason I went back to it last time. So we had lightsabers.
I can usually, if I don't play for like a multiple weeks, my skill base is like so low that it lets me win the first game in solos usually, which is dope. But
do that then. I should do that too.
yeah,
Those dubs. Get those dubs.
gotta get those dubs. All right, until next week.
Hold on.
Hard to get this one on.
There you go, Tiara.
Until next week, comms out.